Hi guys, it's Heather Williams here with the Purposeful Dash. Today I'm going to do a chapter review of Daniel Pink's book, Drive, The Surprising Truth of What Motivates Us. There could be some confirmation bias. I'll be the first to admit it. I am such a huge believer that we're no longer in a society or a world of working where it needs to be butts and seats or hours per day to show what we can accomplish. And this entire book talks about motivation 2.0 versus motivation 3.0. Motivation 2.0 has a lot of compliance. It's a lot of repetitive tasks, and you're just showed how to do it. You're expected to go do it. You get paid X dollars, and we're all happy and can be. But now we live in a world where we actually need creativity. We need engagement. We need ideas. And these repetitive tasks and carrot and stick motivation just doesn't cut it anymore. I highly recommend reading the entire book, but this particular chapter on mastery really excited me. This particular chapter talks about control versus autonomy. Control is going to lead to compliance, where autonomy is going to lead to engagement. And I don't know about any of you, if you have given or participated in any kind of employee engagement survey, but companies across the country here say that they want highly engaged employees in their business. And why wouldn't you? They produce better results, there's more innovation, there's a lot more discussion and ideas that in turn become profitable for the business. And yet we live in a school system and corporate structure that's a lot more about control and compliance driven outcomes versus the autonomy and engagement. But think of this. What if we had this crazy idea where we actually assume that human beings want to do and be better intrinsically? They don't just need the benefits and the pay and the title, although those things are very important, but they're actually just motivated to be better, to become masters of something, to just get into the flow of whatever they're doing. That's exactly what this chapter was talking about. Daniel Pink talks about a Hungarian-American psychologist. I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm just going to put it right here for you to see and show you a little picture of his face. But this is the guy who was kind of the father of this exploration of play for adults and what eventually becomes flow. You're losing track of time. You're enjoying what you're doing. You could do it all day, every day. There are a few key pieces to flow. One, your goal is very clear. You're either trying to score the goal, reach the mountain, complete this task. You know what the goal is. Nobody necessarily needs to tell you. It's just what you're going after and doing. Two, feedback is immediate. Is your blanket becoming more and more like a blanket as you're knitting? Are you closer to the mountaintop? And three, what you're trying to accomplish and what you can do are a perfect match, meaning that it's not too difficult, which can cause anxiety for you, nor is it too easy, which would cause extreme boredom. You'll actually find that the best games on your phone or console are these exact targets as well. So how does flow fit into mastery? Flow is not only a nicety, it's actually a necessity to mastery, but they're not one and the same. You can actually instantaneously find yourself in flow and never master that skill set or that event that you're doing. Flow can be instantaneous, whereas mastery will take months, years, or more likely decades of repeating the task over and over again. It's actually been described as the mundanity of excellence. And you think about that, right? If you were to listen to an incredible pianist, you know that they didn't just sit down to learn that one song at that incredible pace and rhythm and expertise of that. They have practiced their hand muscles for thousands of hours doing that task. And it really comes back to grit. How long can you persevere at a task before you throw in the towel and give up? This chapter talks about a psychologist, Dweck, who actually looks at self-theories around your beliefs. Now, Dweck actually looks at intelligence. There is an entity or incremental. Now, what's the difference between the two? If you believe that your intelligence is like an entity, you mean that there is a finite total to your intelligence. You cannot become more intelligent, you're not less intelligent, you're just as intelligent as you are. And every task that you're professionally challenged to do just measures how intelligent you are. In incremental self theories, what you're actually saying is that it's not finite. Just like strength training, where you can pump more iron, build bigger muscles as time goes on, that's what you can do with your intelligence. And every task, instead of being a measure of your current intelligence, is actually an opportunity for growth towards mastery. What's really fascinating about this is that depending on how you look at yourself and how you believe intelligence to be, will actually dictate how you look at mastery and if it's something you'll ever attain. If you fall into the group of individuals who tend to believe that intelligence is like an entity, a finite amount, what you will find is that when you come up on challenging tasks, you're going to be more quickly likely to give up on the task and blame your lack of intelligence as to why you couldn't solve for X. When you have an incremental self-theory about your intelligence, you actually won't blame anything for not being able to figure out challenges because you know that you're just not at that point yet. And instead of blaming yourself or the situation or intelligence, you just understand that that's part of mastery, part of growing and learning. You just haven't learned that part yet, and it actually plays as a guidepost for you of what you're working towards. I love this so much. I personally definitely fall into the idea that we can become more intelligent, we can train ourselves, we can learn, we can surround ourselves with wonderful people, intelligent, wise, giving of their time and their resources to help us understand and grow our minds more and more. And what that means for me is that all of us can become better. And we can become masters of whatever task we want to become a master at. We just have to put in a lot of mundane, painful, boring hours, along with many hours of flow. In the end, it comes down to your grit, your perseverance to see something through to the end before you give up. I want to become a master at living a really intentional life. Part of living an intentional life is having multiple streams of income that allow me to have time freedom in my day to do whatever I want. Which I'm going to tell you right now involves a lot of playing with Evelyn and some self-care, okay? In order to do that, I'm looking at an entrepreneurial journey. When's the last time you tried something new? It's really tough. And if you have any level of an ego, like me, you're going to find it very challenging to get through these initial stages of learning something new. You want it to be easy, you want it to be simple, you want to just have the time and the resources and the knowledge to be able to do it, but that's just not the case. We all have to start somewhere when we're learning something new. The biggest thing that you can do is surround yourself with individuals and a support system who's going to support you on your journey, pick you up when you're down, encourage you, and cheer you on when you're on your high. But let's not forget, the skills that we're learning of who we are becoming is what's important as much as that end result. And I think of that with this business, Purposeful Dash. I am doing affiliate marketing. I'm starting a YouTube channel. I'm doing blogs. I have a Facebook group. And if you were to join any of those right now, it's pretty minimal interaction and pretty minimal participation from the world at large. And yet, I've got a group of people around me cheering me on, supporting me, encouraging me. And I know this is going to become something so beneficial for me and my family in the future if I just keep going. So that's my chapter review, plus some extra thoughts from Heather as far as Daniel Pink's Drive, chapter on mastery. I highly encourage you to read the entire book, and I would love to hear your thoughts on any part of it, and specifically the chapter on mastery and what you took away from it as well. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. You're living very intentionally and a very purposeful dash. Thanks so much.